Hey, so if you are selling pretty much anything online, anything that's a course or digital product, or even if it's a coaching or consulting offer, you're selling your expertise or whatever, one of the thorns in your side is probably market research. It's probably figuring out the idea of what you should create or what you can actually sell. This is something that never really goes away. I've been doing this now for about 12 years. And I'm always doing more and more market research, looking at my own audience and seeing like what do people need help with, what problems do they want me to solve. Because once I know what those things are, I can then go and create solutions to solve them. So if you have this pain point of doing market research, and maybe you've been sending out some of those survey emails, and I've done this a lot in the past, where it's like, hey, what do you need help with? If we could sit down and have coffee, what are 2 to 3 questions you'd ask me? And like those aren't bad for market research necessarily, but this is one of those things where busy people oftentimes aren't going to respond to them. Successful busy people, the people who will probably be your actual best clients, probably aren't going to actually respond to those. So the people who do oftentimes respond to those are people who usually don't make any money. I mean, not always, not in all cases, but it's hard to know, right? I've just noticed this kind of anecdotally. The people who are the real movers and shakers, who have money, people who like rich people, like they are kind of looking for different solutions. So obviously you want to sell to people who have money, or develop things that you could sell for higher prices to people who have even more money, because then you have better margins and everything else in your business works well. So instead of doing surveys, instead of sending people anonymous, things to fill out with 5 questions or whatever it is, which again, most people ignore, and then you don't really get any good market research from it, this is the email you're going to send instead. I did this the other day on my email list, and I kind of just like riffed it off. I was just like, I wanted to take a different approach. I was like, I've done the surveys in the past. I was like, let me switch this up a little bit. I said, like, imagine, I have a lot of people on my email list of, 14,000, whatever, who would love to hire me. They'd love to hire me to do done-for-you work for them, right? Because, I'm good at email, I'm good at ads, I'm good at, digital offer creation and a number of other different things. So instead of saying, like, hey, what do you need help with? I positioned this differently. I said, if you could hire me, hypothetically speaking, and imagine you didn't have to pay me anything, what would you hire me to do in your business? And this is very different framing. This is very, very different framing than like, what are 2 to 3 questions you have? Or what are 2 to 3 things you need help with? Wildly different framing. This attracts a much different type of person, right? Because people have a lot of money. They are already hiring people. They hire people all the time, whether it's agencies or contractors or consultants or coaches or whatever it is. So you're going to people, it's like a dog whistle to people who A, have more money, and B, actively do this. They actively hire people for the thing that you're trying to sell. So this email worked so well. This is probably the best market research email I've ever sent in my list. I got about 100 responses, give or take. I didn't count them, but it was dozens and dozens and dozens, probably close to about 100. And the crazy thing is, when I sent this email, and I'm going to read to you in a second, when I sent this email, I got 3 people who said, hey, instead of me actually telling you what I want, could I actually just hire you and pay you real money to do this thing for me? So it wasn't even my intention, but it actually got 3 client leads reaching out to me. So it's a very super short email. You could literally copy and paste this email verbatim, and I hope that you do, and I hope you use it. And again, if you don't have an email list and you're watching this, but you have a big social following or whatever it is, you could also put this onto social media. You could make it an Instagram story and have people reply back. You could post on LinkedIn, or you could post on Twitter or whatever, but literally don't edit it. Like, hire me for $0 is the subject line. So that could be the headline for the post if you're going to make it as a post. So imagine you could hire me, Chris Orzechowski, to help you in your business for $0. Now, obviously, you wouldn't put my name unless you want to send me some business. You would put your own name. What would you have me do for you? What problem would you want me to solve for you? What could I take off your plate? What would you like me to teach you or show you how to do? Could you hit reply and let me know? Tell me where it hurts. And this is important. Tell me where it hurts. Right? People always talk about pain points. Like, oh, you got to find your customers' pain points. When you say, tell me where it hurts, they're going to tell you their exact pain points. Not like, oh, what questions do you have about email marketing? What questions do you have about whatever? Like, don't do that. Just say, tell me where it hurts. As a matter of fact, I'll get on sales calls with people, and I'll be like, all right, cool. So we're here, we're talking. Tell me where it hurts. And it'll be the first thing that I say, because that immediately shifts their brain into a position of being like, I'm going to tell Chris all of my pain points and the exact things that I need solved in order for me to be happy with the decision I'm about to make. And the last line, it'll be a huge help trying to do a little market research and create some awesome YouTube videos for you. Thanks. And that part is genuine, and you could change that if you need. I'm trying to create some new offers, some new services, some new coaching programs, whatever you want to call it. And then you just sign it with your name. I don't include any links or anything in here. It's literally just like I want them to hit reply and tell me. And the crazy thing is, people will give you amazing insights into what they're struggling with and what they'd actually pay money for. Because again, it's changing this framing of, instead of like, what are 2 or 3 questions you have? It's like, what if you could hire me to solve a problem for you? What problem would I be solving for you? That will cut through all the noise, and that'll give you exactly like the exact insights you need to create something awesome.